Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be discussing Unintentional Love Story by PIBI. Now before we get started, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled on this manhwa, go ahead and click off now. No worries, I'll catch you next time. Now for those of you left behind, let's go over some content warnings. There may be references to corruption, homomesia, prejudice, assault, blood, manipulation, chronic illness, cheating, self-loathing, and sex in exchange for a product, as these things do appear on the manhwa. Now, if that's all good with you, let's go ahead and get started. As always, let's start with a quick synopsis. Wonyoung's successful career is put on hold after his superior gets caught in a scandal. The company, Tapyoung Group, is unsure if Wonyoung played a role in the scandal, so to hedge their bets, they fire him. Needless to say, Wonyoung is heartbroken. His parents were beyond proud of him for getting a job at such a prolific company, so he can't bring himself to tell them about his situation. Rather than finding a new job, he desperately wants to get back into Tapyoung Group. To gather his thoughts and wait out the ensuing investigation, with little hope that he'll be brought back, Wonyoung leaves Seoul for the countryside, where he tries to relax. While checking out the area, Wonyoung happens upon a pottery studio and store where a potter sells all manner of bowls, cups, and the like. It just so happens that the man who owns the store is none other than Yoon Taejun, the chairman of Tapyoung's favorite potter who's been missing for a long time. However, he isn't going by Taejun anymore. Instead, the name he answers to is Juhan. Is this the same guy? There's no question in Wonyoung's mind that it is, but why is he hiding out in the countryside? Seeing this as an opportunity to win back favor with the chairman and get his job back, Wonyoung relays Taejun's location to his former coworker, who talks Wonyoung into getting close to Taejun in hopes of winning an exclusive contract with Tapyoung. While Wonyoung feels this is unethical, his desperation pushes him forward. Before we start, it's worth noting that while I did mark this as explicit in the written review, that's only due to the side stories. The main story itself does not show explicit sex, it's softcore, but the side stories do. I reviewed the entire completed series, side stories included, and if a mature version is available legally, I'll always opt for the mature version. You can read this entirely, side stories included, as softcore, but you can also choose to read the explicit side stories. The explicit side stories are listed separately on Lezen, so you must search for them. This review is for the main story and the explicit side stories. With that being said, let's get started. The art in this is just as cute and wholesome as the other PIBI works I've reviewed, such as I Have a Boyfriend. However, this is far more consistent than I Have a Boyfriend. Taejun is daddy material. His character design has to be my favorite of all the characters PIBI has designed. He's tall, has long hair, and has a cold and broody look to him. It doesn't get much more my type than that. It's also nice to see someone without the big, wide PIBI eyes. That's not to say I don't enjoy the standard eye style, but it was just refreshing to see something different. Everyone's super cute though, except maybe Hote. Due to his super short haircut, his head shape is much more prominent, and from certain angles, it looks bizarre, but that's not that big of a deal. Just as with the previous title by this creator, where this really shines is in the story. It's a very down-to-earth level of drama, which is always refreshing when most of the BL that becomes mainstream is fantastical or has unbelievable scenarios. Not that there's anything wrong with those, of course. I love them just as much as everybody else, but it's nice to have something more realistic occasionally, and this one really stands out in that regard. The drama that does exist is heart-wrenching. Seeing Wonyoung fall to the floor, sobbing because he regrets lying and manipulating Taejun after Taejun came clean to him about his real identity is just stunning. It makes me want to cry, but it's still stunning all the same. Definitely worth seeing. One thing that did irritate me, but it's integral to the story, is Wonyoung's ignorance. He's rather bigoted in his thinking toward gay people and how they're depicted in media. I mostly bring this up because I know some people may be triggered by such content. It isn't discussed as problematic outwardly, but it is framed so that Wonyoung is in the wrong. It's not a joke from what I picked up from the few scenes this happened. It does serve to establish wonderful character growth from Wonyoung as he realizes loving someone of the same sex is no different from loving the opposite sex. Seeing Wonyoung grow in that way is so lovely. I wish he'd gotten a bit more of a verbal smackdown, but I still like that his ignorance wasn't treated as a joke when this kind of thing is prevalent, and certainly isn't a joke to those who might be affected by it. What I really love though is that Taejun doesn't just forgive Wonyoung. I find that it usually only takes a few days, some heartfelt apologies, and maybe some spice for the hurt party to forgive the other. That's not the case here. Taejun's past is fraught with betrayal from a partner that was with him just for his connections and nothing more. So his reaction to Wonyoung's lies is totally believable. I love how strong strong he is for himself and his ability to protect himself. I wish I were as strong as he was, because after some of Won Young's desperate attempts to reconcile, I have no doubt I would have given in. I, of course, did want them to get back together, but Taijun deserved to see how much Won Young cared for him and how he deserved to be wanted. With all that being said, PIBI is so underrated. I've loved both works that I've been able to purchase. I wish there were more, because they truly have a talent for storytelling, and their art just gets better and better. It's wholesome and dramatic, but not overly so, and it has just the right amount of spice not to overshadow the plot. This piece is well crafted, and I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't read it. Definitely one of my favorites. So, have you read Unintentional Love Story? If so, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you not? Let me know and comment below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Bye!